So in the last video, we created this talking head setup. The thing is, I moved it into the front room, which is where I'll be placing this setup permanently, so I'll be stationary. And I have this gigantic yellow wall behind me, which is incredibly ugly. I've always had plans to replace that with something, but in this video we're going to be sorting that out. So ever since moving into the space, I've had quite a bit of luck with how it's all put together. Like, everything seems to fit in place really quite nicely. Except when it comes to that front room, I've always had a little bit of difficulty with that. Mainly because we painted it yellow in the beginning and there's a lot of illogical corners all over the place. So my initial design for this wall was really leading the entire build process here as well. So it's going to seem totally illogical if you don't understand the context behind why I'm putting this frame in place here and covering the power plugs essentially. So I thought it'd be really cool if we had lighting integrated into the wall panels. So I had some custom laser cut plexiglass sheets and some custom sheet metal fabricated parts over the top over there, and then we'd have these nice little futuristic illuminating parts. But then when I was actually considering the electrical part of it, I thought it would be more like a fire hazard than anything else, because it's going to get really quite warm behind the wall, of course. Now the reason I continued with the frame over here is because I also thought I would be putting some concrete wall panels on there, which are really quite heavy, and that wall is made out of gypsum and it's not as thick as the one behind me, so I wasn't really sure if it could handle the weight of actual concrete wall panels. I didn't put too much work into the frame either. I just used some of these L brackets with 30mm screws to hold the slats in place, and I'm placing these slats at a 97cm interval. I'm doing this because I'm creating some custom wall panels out of multiplex this time around. I keep seeing these really nice sheets in the hardware store which have a nice pattern on there, and they're kind of this reddish hue, so I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work too well on camera, but I do think it will look quite decent in the space itself, considering that we have the yellow wall on the other side as well, and then complementing that with the black beams in the space. So we utilized my 3D printed jig over here to drill all of the holes in the panel. I did this because we have 15 panels, so 4 holes per panel. That's about 60 holes, I believe. And the reason we're doing that is because I'll be mounting these with screws and a little washer in between there. I really like this mounting solution. I did it on the concrete wall panels behind me as well. Now for these wooden panels, I would like to put a chamfer on there as well. Wasn't sure if this is going to work too well because I've always had an issue with my plunge router and multiplex, but I'm not entirely sure what this particular multiplex is actually made out of, because it seems to me like it's got a veneer layer over the top of it. Not entirely sure if that's true, but when I actually sand it down, I sometimes encounter little strings which you can pull out, so maybe somebody in the comment section will know what I'm talking about. And so I started plunge routing all of these panels and everything worked out really quite well. Just a quick reminder here that if you're enjoying the video, to check if you're subscribed or not. I see a lot of people in the comment section saying they've watched my videos for like a year or two and then not realized that they're not actually subscribed to the channel. Now somebody in the comment section of the concrete wall panels video actually suggested that I start from the middle with panels like this, and so that's what I did this time around. I used a laser level to actually see if this was horizontal or not, and that made the entire installation process quite a bit easier as well. I didn't have to rely on the floor, which is almost never straight in my apartment, and in general just putting these panels together and getting all the little corners to match up perfectly went relatively easy, although it took a couple of hours to do it properly. Now here in the Netherlands right now, we're experiencing some kind of heat wave and it's incredibly hot, so I was a little bit like, okay, I just want to finish it. And what I should have done is actually paint that wall on the left white, because we have this little strip which is still yellow and it's incredibly ugly. I'll probably have to go back and fix that later down the line, or perhaps we can fix that up with some additional multiplex pieces at the side over there. Now in my case, I was really quite lucky. I had exactly 5 panels from the bottom to the top and I didn't have to cut anything to size. I'm not entirely sure if I nailed the look on this project in particular, especially with the entire space. I think it would look a lot better if the rest of the space was white, but that's a project I'd rather do in the winter time when it's not so hot.